podcast. Come take this walk with me.
Welcome back to the Three Parallels Podcast with your host, the brother Dr. Jason Branch, where we rediscover who we were, we embrace who we are, and we make room for who we're trying to become. If that is you, you are at the right place at the right time. My name is Dr. Jason Branch, and I serve as an executive performance coach. What does that mean? I'm glad you asked. My job is to help you become the best version of you by figuring out who you are. Is it little you, current you, big you? You know, him, her, or them, all caps, no blue hat. So I help people transition from who you once were to who you actually designed to be. And who you're designed to be is in you and always been there, but we never knew because everybody named Mama telling us who we are and what to do. Happened to me too. Welcome to the club. So, as a performance uh, coach, I help people perform personally and professionally in a lot of different ways and spaces. And I'm really leaning into this world and space. And this podcast is a part of that. So just know you have access and you ain't gonna have it forever, but you got it for now. So if I can serve, let me know. Reach out. Let's connect. There's that. Getting into this episode because I hope you're ready, because I am. And if you ain't, you better get ready. I'm telling you what I know, not what I heard, because today I am excited because I hosted my first masterclass related to this ecosystem empire that I'm building. You know, I got to keep you in the loop on what I'm doing around here. So as things happen, you won't be surprised. As things happen, it's going to be, oh, he said that. He already said that was going to happen. And now it's happening because I am social proof. Big shout out, David Chance. What up, baby? Can't wait. It's going to happen. The social proof is I'm a living testimony of becoming the best version of me. So if I'm able to become the best version of me and all these things happen for me, to me, through me, then that means it can happen for you too, because I ain't that different from you. Or you wouldn't be listening, number one, because I listen to this for me. I make this for me and I love it. I'm a fan of my own show. Like, who does that? Me, that's who. What up, dear Silas? I'm ready when you are. I'm just shouting folks out that I expect to be on the show or be connected in some kind of way, shape, form, or fashion. And I'm just going to talk about it because that's what I do. Also, for those listening and watching, I'm having some tea. A little tea in my Bermuda mug. It got the coordinates on it 32.3078 degree sign, 64.7505 degree sign. We're in Bermuda, baby. As I mentioned before, that's where I expect to be back at the end of the year. And you are more than welcome to join me if you're ready. Speaking of which, if I haven't mentioned already, I'm mentioning it again. This masterclass is the beginning of this ecosystem that I'm building to take people on a journey from the masterclass all the way to the first retreat that I'm going to host this year, 2026. And I don't know who's gonna be there, but whoever's supposed to be there will be there. Whoever ain't, ain't. Ain't none of my business. I'm just gonna do what I do best. Win. I hope that's you too. Because if you losing, this is your opportunity to start winning. Because you win by learning. You either win or learn. From this day forth, you no longer lose. Because if I'm winning and learning, all I do is win. Where DJ Khaled at? T-Pain now. All I do is win. So if I win, that means I'm learning. And to me, that's what this entire process is. It's a journey of healing and learning and experiencing in real time. And I'm glad you're on this journey with me because I don't want nobody else here. Talking to you. I don't want nobody else here but me, you, all these different versions of me, because that's who I'm talking to. And you, and you, and you. So today's episode, I'm excited to talk about because I'm still maintaining this theme around Women's Appreciation Month, International Women's Appreciation Month, and just women in general, just appreciating women. So all the women near and dear to my heart, connected, directed, directly, indirectly, aunties, mamas, grandmamas, everybody. You're a woman. You're a woman that has had an impact on my life. Thank you. Thank you for being you. And there's so many, because I wouldn't be the man that I am without all the ladies, all the women, all the mamas in them that's taking care of me. My own mama, my grandmama, all the mamas, and my whole life. So just giving love to all the mamas, the women out there, the peoples. So with this theme, I want to talk about a particular woman that was really helpful for me on my journey in academia on the highest level that I got to before I got to where I am now. Again, three parallels. We here. And this show is organic. So grab a chickadee banana sticker or a Dole sticker and put it on your forehead if you're listening. And I cannot wait because it's going to happen. I can't wait for the day that somebody on social media with a Dole sticker or chickadee banana sticker on their forehead with hashtags around it. And everybody that gonna know what it's about. Everybody else gonna be like, okay, this is weird. Are we planking again? Is this the new planking? It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I'm really, really excited. I got a lot to catch up y'all up on, but I'm trying my best not to bring out Spicy J because that's where I'm at right now. Spicy J is in the building. He revving up, and I'm like, yo, I got a story to tell. I'm gonna tell the story and go. That's my plan. Hit these folks in the head with a honey bun and go on about my business. But Spicy J, like, what about this left turn we could take real quick and talk about this for a few minutes and talk about that for a few minutes before you know it, episode over with. I ain't talked about what I said I was gonna talk about. Do you see how Spicy J be sneaking in here? Same way your old self be sneaking in, turning over tables. Anyway, we ain't talking about you. We talking about this. So, story time. Buckle up, Buttercup. I got my tea. I hope you got yours. And speaking of a mug, there are mugs now. We got merch. You see the shirt. We got merch. So click the link in the description, comment. Oh, subscribe. Okay, stop playing. If you getting something, subscribe. I'm seeing y'all watching. I'm knowing y'all listening. But if you don't subscribe, it feels like I'm talking to myself, although I am. But your subscription helps us win. Because when I win, you win all day long. So story time. Man, fun story, funny story, cool story. There's a lot of women that I can talk about on this journey, on this path, and several of them will be on the show. And thinking back on this story connects to a time and place in my life where when I was a shorty, you know what I mean? When I was in my doc program. So my master's program and before, well, my master's program, there was a lot of men that kind of helped to the best of their ability. And in my doc program and beyond, it was a lot of women because, academia, mental health profession, mainly white women, white men. It's designed that way. So I was surrounded by them. So one woman in particular, well, several. I'll talk about these women, several of how I ended up being where I was. So it started from year one doc program. So first year doc student, for those who don't know, before I became a doc student, I was a full grown man with a whole career. Okay, I was in private practice, had a license. I was bartending, had a license as a mixologist. Um, I was doing contract work. I was speaking. I was doing workshops, trainings. I was doing everything. And once I got into a doc program, I decided like, let me slow down on some of these things and do what's needed necessary and be a student full time. So one of the most rude awakenings, because this story is going to have a lot of levels and a lot of layers, and I feel moved to share it. So you can do whatever you want to do with it, but it's for who it's for. Okay, if it ain't for you, turn it off. If it is, turn it up. Come on, we do this. So the beginning of this three parallels, little me, first year doc student, I was interested in working with a particular faculty member at Auburn University at the time. However, I learned that that particular faculty member wasn't interested in working with me. Cool, no problem at all. I attracted exactly who I was supposed to have, which, big shout out, Dr. Melanie Arusi, because she was my dissertation chair and she came in and she just poured into your boy. So much so that said, yeah, I got to tell the story. So much so that that said person um, that was not interested in me and working with me was responsible for me getting in the program. No shade, no disrespect. And this same person was also responsible for trying to put me out the program. Yeah, for those that don't know. Backstory to the front story. Your boy was below remedial in college. Below remedial. You know what that means? I graduated June 3rd. I was in college June 7th. I started in the summer. Why? So I can be remedial by the fall. So I was taking English 098, 099, 100. Before I ever got to 101, I didn't get to 101 until I was a junior. So my writing skills has not been the best. Dayton Public Schools, big shout out. Got to blame somebody. I am not blaming me. You know my story. Skimming. Anyway, so my writing skills wasn't that great all the way from college all the way to my dot program. So this person shared, hey, this student is plagiarizing. Let's get him out of here. Dr. Arusi, like, slow down now. You got a little too much dip on your chip. Slow down, boo boo. He good. He needs help. He don't need to get put out. Get him some help. How about we come up with a plan to, he go to the writing center, he get some training, get some support, blah blah blah. Let's look out for the guy. And if she wouldn't have done that, I don't know if I would have a doctor from Auburn University. I mean, I still would have got a doctorate. Don't get me wrong. Even if it was honorary, I would have got me one. But it may not have happened. So Irusa came in and kind of helped in that place and space. And that was one of the many times she really helped me personally and professionally because that could have changed or pivoted the trajectory of my life. And the second thing, or another thing that Dr. Arusi did was introduce me to Linwood Vereen because she knew, hey, as a white woman, I'm not able to give you what somebody else can, which this black man over here in Syracuse, because he the only one I know around here, may be a good fit for you. I mean, that's how limited it is. For those who don't know, I want you to know that's how limited it is, and it's Alabama, so therefore it was black and white. Wasn't a lot of diversity related to Hispanic, Indian, Latina, Asian. Wasn't that type of diversity. From my experience, that was in this place and space. So in Alabama, more often than not, it's black and white. I didn't meet my first Jewish person like that I got to know until I moved to New Jersey, which is part of the story that I'm sharing today. So Dr. Arusi introduced me to Linwood, rest is history. Fast forward, Dr. Evans, just to give you some sense of who I was in my doctor program as a first year. Again, I had a whole career, I had a whole life making well over six figures. I was good. So I took a pay cut to become a student and took a pay cut again to become a doctor. Oh my God. Let me explain. So I was a clinical director, private practice, doing all these different things, right? Making well over six figures. And my first year in the doc program, the conversation came up of, what you're expected to make as a faculty member. And me, I don't know, I'm ignorant. I just want to teach. I was informed that, more often than not, my first teaching gig will be between uh 60 and 90. And I'm like, that's a huge range. 60 and 90. And it was preposterous. I had a hard time accepting the fact that I'm going to make less with a PhD than I do without one. I didn't understand it. I understand it now, but I didn't understand it then. And it bothered me because I didn't understand how can I go to school to get all this education and I still make less. Didn't get it. And then the other side of it was, yeah, once you get this little chump change, you get to work again another 6 years to prove how good you are as a doctor in order to get tenure. And man, I'm in the middle of class, I kid you not. And I quote, I said, man, fuck tenure. Everybody looked at me, clutched their pearls. They clutching their pearls anyway. I was the only black male there. What is he doing here? I just want to speak my truth. Okay. I got a platform to do it now. And ain't nobody gonna tell me shut up because ain't no rules on this podcast game. If you know them, you let me know because you probably made them or somebody else did. Anyway, I was upset. And everybody looking like, what is wrong? And I'm like, y'all don't hear what they're saying right now? This makes no sense to me. Didn't matter. This is the reality for many counselor educators with PhDs because it's a value thing, but that's another conversation for another day. My point is, I knew that I ain't finna be here long. I'm finna get what I get and get out of here and figure this thing out to make it work for me. So I knew that. So I already knew year one, I outgrew this program because of the knowledge and the experiences that I had. It really prepared and propelled me. So much so that I outgrew it so much that by the time I finished my second year, Dr. Evans, Amanda Evans, big shout out to her, Amanda Evans. Amanda was like, "Hey, you thinking about doing your internship here or somewhere else?" And I'm like, "I'm gonna go and do it here. I ain't doing nothing. Ain't nothing going on. I'm gonna go and knock it out." And she said, "I highly recommend you go somewhere else because you've outgrown the program, and I don't want you to stifle your growth." And I'm like, "Good. I'm gonna just go and chill and just knock this thing out. And she pressed me. Dr. Evans, she had me in the office and pressed like, "Hey man, I'm not gonna let you sit here and rot here. I'm not gonna let you rot on my watch." Big shout out Dr. Evans and Chad. Family, family, family. Uh, she said, "I'm not gonna allow it. So just do me a favor and just apply to Youngstown State University." And I'm like, "Man, I don't want to go no Youngstown. I'm from Dayton, Ohio. I ain't want to go back to Ohio." And she said, "Well, just put your name out there, see what's what. I would love for you to meet my mentor, Dr. Vicky Crest. For those who know, Victoria Crest, ACA president coming up. That's my dowel. This is how the story, this is the puzzle pieces. So when you see me out and about with folks, especially in the counseling spaces, there's a connection, there's a relationship there. I don't just be hanging with folks just to hang with folks. That ain't my thing. I'm very intentional about how I spend my time and who I spend my time with. Come on, church. So she like, "Yo, you need to be my mentor. Go to YSU, whatever." And I'm like, think about it. Again, I was horrible. I was horrible in the best way possible. I wouldn't change a thing about me at that time. Hmm. Excuse me. So I finally decide to listen to Dr. Evans. And I put my name out there for 3 internships. This is the end of my second year. So usually for doc programs, counselor ed specifically, hmm, you have 2 years of coursework, you have a year of internship, you have a year of dissertation. So it could take you 4 to 5 years to finish, depending on how long it takes you to finish your dissertation. Once you finish your dissertation, it can take a year to 2 to 3 to 6 or 7. It can take that long to finish the dissertation. And sometimes it's in your control. Sometimes, most of the time, it's outside of your control. Your committee won't meet. Somebody get hurt. Somebody retire. Somebody die. Somebody just stop caring. It's so many different things that can lead to that. But one thing I knew for sure was my team, my community, my village. That's what I'm going to lean on. So I knew year 3 internship. I can combine internship and dissertation together. I wouldn't recommend anybody do that, but that's what I did because I knew where I wanted to go. So putting those two together, I said internship would probably be a best fit. I need to get away from Auburn for real. And that's what I did. So I had 3 internship opportunities. One was University of Wisconsin Whitewater. I already knew, like, it's white in the name. They knew I was getting into. The second was Villanova. And I can't even remember the woman's name at this time, but it was another white woman that had pool. And I just was navigating places and spaces where my personality, who I am, people just wanted to help me win. Like, yo, I don't know what it is about this guy, but I just want him to win. So this woman was really interested in me doing the internship program at Villanova. However, they didn't have the funding, so I would have been a student for the first time, uh, intern for the first time. They didn't have funding. It was a mess, and I was just like, I'm not a mess. It wasn't established, and I'm like, think I'm good on that. Then and these all three programs, all white women. I just want to talk about it. Okay. Excuse me. So when Villanova was kind of iffy, I'm like, let me check out YSU. Hmm. Check out YSU. Meet Vicky Crest. It was over. The interview was, Jason, I got one question. I'm like, yeah, what's up? She said, why do you want to leave Alabama? Move from Alabama and move to Youngstown, Ohio. Why would you do that? That was her question in the interview. And I knew then, me and Cress, we gonna be good. So Cress was another person that just helped me on my journey. And once I got to Youngstown, like I had to give Dr. Evans a love because she was right. She was absolutely right. And I'm so glad I listened to her. So anybody know Dr. Evans, let her know. Dr. Brand said, thank you for pouring into him. I'm glad I listened. Because when I went to Ohio at Youngstown, working with under Crest, Biggie Crest treated me like part-time faculty. She didn't treat me like a student. If I stayed at Auburn, I would have been treated like a student, without a doubt. So being there, I was treated like faculty. I'm going to faculty meetings. I'm going to union meetings. I'm finna go on strike with these folks. And I'm an intern. It was beautiful. It's amazing. So I was so far ahead of the curve that um, when it was time to, so when it was time to transition to a full-time faculty position, I was already ready because my year of internship was like being a faculty member. So first job I applied to, this is where the story gets really good because this is what I'm sharing is leading to the person that I'm going to have on the show. And transitioning from Auburn to Ohio, Ohio to New Jersey, because the first job I applied to several jobs during the job market, and I was 8 months before dissertation completion, before graduation. And first callback I got was Monmouth University in New Jersey, and got a call back. I ain't know nothing about a school, never heard of before, and I'm like, let me talk to him, let me see what's happening. And Dr. Stephanie Hall, big shout out Stephanie Hall. Uh, Dr. Hall was like, "Hey, we interested? Want to interview you? Come through." And I'm like, "All right, cool." And they rolled out the red carpet for you, boy. What, the blue carpet? The carpet was blue. They rolled out that blue carpet for you, boy. And it was a great interview. It was a phenomenal interview. I loved it. I enjoyed it. I didn't get a chance to like go to a lot of different places to interview. I didn't have to. I got hired, like on the spot. But before getting hired on the spot, there's another story underneath that. Spicy J is in the building. And the other story beneath it relates to full circle moments. So, backstory, before the PhD, I had a black woman in my life that we was on the same path, Dr. Aisha Dickerson. I'm name dropping intentionally, so I hope you know these folks. If you do, now you know the story, now you know the connection. So Aisha Dickerson was the reason, it's part of the reason I went and got a PhD. Part of the reason I started working in residential treatment, because we've been in the same place and space for years, helping, supporting, encouraging each other along the way. So we were in the master's program together. And our claim to fame, our story we will always tell until death is we were together when Michael Jackson died. We were together. We were in class together. And we in class together. Somehow, somebody get us an alert. I think Aisha got an alert on her phone that Michael Jackson died. And she said, Jay, I said, what's up, man? I'm already like, what's going on? She said, Jay, Michael Jackson died. I said, no, man, no. I checked my phone. I see the same report. And we just in there looking like, man, this just happened. Class going on. And we talking about Michael Jackson died. Sidebar. And then the teacher was like, is is everything okay? Is something going on? And we both stopped chatting and was like, yeah, Michael Jackson died. And everybody was like, oh, okay. And they just kept on going. They just kept on talking, just kept talking about therapy, kept talking about group work. And me and Ace over here devastated. Our childhood friend died. It was worse than Bubbles died. Like we were distraught. And no one gave a shit. Why? Because we the only black folks in there. Big shout out to the dog, Aisha Dickerson, who's been on the show, who's family on the show. Now you're connecting dots, okay? Fast forward. Um, before the before the interview, I started getting word because the profession is super small. It's only maybe 2 to 3 degrees of separation, and because the profession is so small, 1 or 2 degrees, everybody know each other. Now it's even smaller if you're black or a person of color, because when I started interviewing at Monmouth, Linwood, my mentor, hit me up. He said, "Hey man, did you know David Ford is interviewing over there too?" He told me to tell you. I said, David Ford, the David Ford. If you know, you know. If you don't, you will know. David Ford was one of my mentors coming through the ranks of this profession. And now I got the inside scoop. They're interviewing David Ford and me. Linwood gave me the scoop, told me to call David. I called David, hey man, you applying for the position at Mama? He said, yeah. I said, you got an interview? He said, yeah, I got an interview too. And it was a moment that we shared of, man, let's make sure you're prepared, do your thing, blah, blah, blah. It was just love, it was support and encouragement. It wasn't competition. We weren't competing. It was let's be our best selves and may the best man win, but not a competition because if you win, I win. You getting in here, we're good, because our reality was we did not expect Monmouth University to hire two black men at the same time. That just didn't go together. It just didn't make sense because in our experience, we've never seen that before. So for him being years removed from me in the profession, like he's been in it longer than I have, he never saw it. Me being in when I did, I never saw it. So we both knew in our minds they're only gonna take one. Most institutions only got room for one. Cause systems be systeming. So you get you one black hire, you good. You ain't gotta do nothing else. You met the quota. So because of our lived experience, we shared this truth. And it was a moment that it was like, man, it's so good to be black. It's so good to be a black man. It's so good to be connected because, you know, that could have gone a lot of different ways depending on who. But our lived experience gave us a similar lens where we could speak a language without speaking it. And we understood. And to both of our surprise, they hired both of us. We both were sick. Like, what is this? Oh my God. This is happening. This predominantly white private school hired me and you together at the same time. Oh my goodness. That's how I started. Fast forward years later, I transitioned out. David Ford, now the chair of the program. We gonna do what we do, baby. Big shout out, Dr. Ford. Fast forward, connecting to Monmouth, which is the heart of this story I want to share. And big shout out to all the writing group, because this is how that connects as well. Dave Ford part of the writing group, Michael Hannon, all these different guys I met throughout this space in New Jersey is how I was recruited and connected to this writing group.
And that's on a professional side. And on a personal side, I'm about to move to New Jersey and I don't know nobody. I ain't seen nothing. I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing about New Jersey besides New Jersey Drive, the movie. And that was in the 90s. So I don't even think I've ever been before I visited for this job interview. So during the interview process, um, you know, it was a particular woman, Dr. Sarah Springer, that reached out to me to let me know, hey, heard you coming up for an interview. I'm not going to be able to be there. However, I send my regards, but if you need anything, you let me know. I saw your stuff. You know, I think you're going to be a great fit. This was after, I'm sorry, this was after the interview. So sorry. So sorry. After the interview, there was a conversation of, yeah, you the truth. I can't wait to work with you. Now, Sarah reached out to me without meeting me. We never met. She just heard of me and heard the interview was well, saw my stuff, got all the green light from everybody. So she had to, bring her vote in based off of what she had, research and everything else. And she was just like, I think you're good people. I ain't even had a chance to interview you, but you got my vote. Like, yeah, let's go. Let's ride. And I'm like, all right, cool. So backstory with Sarah, Sarah came out of Montclair. And I think she was at mom a couple years before I came. But out of the whole department there, Sarah was one of the people that reached out to me to really help me get acclimated or get into this new space as a new professor because it's a huge transition, a tough transition. And I didn't have anyone that kind of held my hand through this process. So I'm a newbie. I don't know the life of being a professor. I barely know the life of being a graduate student. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm figuring this thing out as I go. Fast forward, Sarah's like, anything you need, you let me know. Me and David get the job, and we just processed throughout it. We was in orientation together the whole nine. And Sarah is from New Jersey. So Sarah lets me know, hey, if you're in the area, if you need help with housing or whatever, like I got you. Sarah was living in Red Bank, New Jersey. I hope you're connecting the dots to the pact. She's in Red Bank, New Jersey. And she said, let me know whatever you need. And she stood by that. We had several conversations over the phone, never met. This is before technology is technology. So we wasn't zooming and FaceTime. We wasn't doing, I don't know what this woman looked like besides a picture on the internet. But she just poured into me like, yo, Jay, I want to help you. And I'm like, who are you and why are you helping me? And she just genuinely cared in a way that I had different women throughout my career in this space just had this care for me. Like, let's make sure he good. Regardless of race, background, culture, whatever. It was women. And this is why this is that appreciation. It's a lot of women, even family, my mom, aunties, cousin, family, everybody. Like there was so many women that just helped me become this version of me. Sarah was one of those women in a very instrumental way because she introduced me to the life of being a professor early. And I'm like, yo. So Dr. Kress gave me one perspective or lens. That's another story, another podcast, another day. Sarah gave me a different lens as well. And Sarah's lens was I'm here to support any way that I can. So I had a hard time asking for help or even receiving help because of my own stuff in my own basement. Don't judge me, judge yourself. So it was a hard thing for me to open up to allow somebody who didn't know me to help me. And man, once I got out of my own way, Sarah rolled out the red carpet. It was red for that scarlet. She went to Rutgers, sung in a choir. So during this time, I'm in my doc program. Spring break is coming. I'm at Youngstown, and I decided to take this random road trip. And I went all over. Another story for another day. I got a story for days. Listen, I'm gonna do this podcast until I can't, because I got so many stories to tell, and I never told them because I didn't think nobody cared. But now that I know y'all care, I'm finna tell them. And people gonna pay me to tell these stories. What? I'm practicing. Hope you are too. And I hope you're not just practicing listening, because don't nothing get done just by listening, in my humble opinion. You listen, then you do. My 3 cents. So I'm taking this random road trip. I went to several states, all over, from Ohio to to East Coast to Texas and back. Real talk. And during this time, I'm finna go through Jersey. Like, let's just see what it looked like over there. I ain't been since the interview. And I'll hit Sarah up. Hey, I'm coming through. I would love an introduction to the place in space. Monmouth County, Monmouth, New Jersey. Long Branch, New Jersey, to be exact. I was supposed to be there. I was in the name. So I'll swing through Jersey. I'll go to Red Bank. We go to this burger joint. This is the first time I meet Sarah in person. And man, it was just love. Big hug, love. And the burger joint was phenomenal. I think it was called like a number, like 23, 32, 33 something. It was just two numbers. One of the best burgers I ever had in my life. I don't know if it's the experience or what, but it was a regular cheeseburger. But it was a great experience because this was me adulting at this professoriate level that I never experienced before. Even though, I'm part-time faculty at Youngstown State. Like, this is me out here on my own with a real professor. Everybody else was real, but somebody I didn't know. And we talked, and Sarah took care of your boy, like for real. And I'm so grateful because our initial meeting, we went a lot of different places talking about life, personal, professional. I found out she's Jewish. I'm a black man, Jewish woman. Like, what is this What is Judaism? What does it mean to be Jewish? Like, I don't know. The dreidel and all these. I don't know none of this stuff. And she just poured into me. Let me introduce you to my culture. Let me introduce you. And I'm like, yo, I ain't never met nobody Jewish before. Just want to talk about my truth. And especially somebody who's interested in sharing with me their experiences, culture, background, everything. And she said, well, after we had the burgers, we chilled, hung out. She said, hey, come by the apartment. I got a guy I want to introduce you to. I'm like, okay. She said, yeah, there's some new openings coming up at the apartment complex I stay. Let's come by, just come by, drop by. I said, cool. We leave the burger joint, go to her house. And this is the middle of the day. She finna teach in a few hours. Like, she got enough time to sober up before. Like, she can sober up, take a nap, then go teach. We teach at night usually. So this middle of the day, random Tuesday morning. Tuesday morning, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, we eating burgers. I'm sorry, it wasn't that early, about 10, 11. It was early though. Regardless of how early it was, we went to her apartment where she was going to introduce me to someone. But before she introduced me to someone, she showed me her place, showed me everything. And she has this huge liquor cabinet that's connected to her culture and everything. And I'm like, yo, what is this? And it's scotch everywhere. And I'm like, yo, what is this? It's stuff I've never seen before, I've never heard of. And she said, yeah, I drink scotch. I'm like, what? You drink scotch? What? And she pulled out a bottle and two glasses. And I'm just sitting here looking like, what is this? What do you do with it? It's the middle of the day. You teaching later. I'm traveling to Texas randomly later on. And we just start drinking scotch. And I'm like, man, this is cool as shit. I can't wait till I'm a full-time professor. They finna pay me to drink scotch during the day and teach students at night. Sign me up. So Sarah introduced me to the life of a professor where I recognized, regardless, we'll never get paid what we're worth, but even whatever the pay is, it's usually a 9-month contract, and the payment is one thing. The flexibility in time is a whole nother world I knew nothing about. And that's what a PhD can offer you sometimes, is your time back. And I saw it in real time. And before I know it, there was a knock on the door. And this guy comes to the door. I can't remember his name. But wasn't from here. I think he was from Iceland or something. I cannot remember his name. But he comes to the door like, "Hey, what's going on, Sarah?" And she said, "Yeah, this is Jason. He gonna be coming up here. He needs an apartment. Blah blah blah." Before I know it, I'm talking to this guy, the residential leader, whatever it's called, the super, whatever whatever you want to call it. Talking to him about getting an apartment within the next couple weeks, getting keys and everything, filling out paperwork. Sarah introduced me to this man. Man, I got me an apartment on the spot, just out of love of like, hey, you seem like a good guy. And from that point, me and Sarah was thick as thieves, because she had my back. So we both had an opportunity to learn about each other. I'm teaching her about black culture and blackness, and she's teaching me about being Jewish and the culture and the religion and all of this. And we're in the same place and space where, we're out dating. Like she's dating, um, I'm dating, and we're like coming back in, sharing the stories. Like we're professors out here, uh, dating, exploring the city, you know what I'm saying? Philly, Jersey, New York. And like we come back together. Hey, how was your date? Man, it sucked. It was this and that. How was your day? Oh, it was cool. It was all right. And we did that for a couple of years. And it was cool. It was so cool because we got a chance to really get to know each other platonically. And for a lot of people, they can't do that. They just don't have the ability to connect platonically. And a lot of people can. And those who do can see the benefits of having a connection with someone who's the opposite sex, opposite race, culture, beliefs, religion, whatever. What's different from you, that's how you grow and change. And one thing that really stood out to me about Sarah was she's reading this book called White Fragility. And I'm like, yo, what is this? I got an inside scoop on what white people are reading. What is this? I felt like I was infiltrating, you know? And Sarah was honest as hell. Like, I'm trying to figure out my white privilege. I just learned about this not too long ago. I'm trying to figure out what the hell going on. And it was like, yo, so it was just constant moments of like, man, we good. We good for life. And those moments we had a chance to really kind of dive in to understand culture and differences and people and everything. And we just built personally, professionally. So when we started working together, it was just instant. And everybody thought like we were, like, how y'all so cool so fast? Like y'all just met. And we're like, nah, man, we've been building for months. And nobody knew. Everybody assumed, but nobody knew. And this is the first time I've shared this. So as we're walking through, so we had several scotch. I get me an apartment, and we were walking around Red Bank because she's showing me around. So we can go to the heart of Red Bank from our apartment, a walk, few blocks. So we walking down through Red Bank, and this is where I recognize I'm not in Youngstown anymore. I'm not in Dayton anymore. I've never been here before because I'm, less than a mile away from all the things that I love and that's all the things that I've never been exposed to. So, I can walk a few blocks and I can be by water. Like, what? Or I can go to the store. It's a walkable city. I've never been in a walkable city. You know, this little strip has, Jay and Silent Bob, the comic book store. Like that shop is there. There's a bakery and restaurants and bars, and it's like a little neighborhood. And I'm like, yo, I've never experienced this before. And looking at the cars, ain't nothing less than 2018. And that was the year it was. But no old car, everything was nice, pristine. And you see really nice cars. And it was like, this is a pretty affluent neighborhood. And I live here. And it was a really shocking awakening for me to recognize, like, man, I am not the same person anymore. I don't live in the same place and space. It was uncomfortable for me at times. Again, I'm one of one. So it was uncomfortable. However, I adjusted because I ended up having a car just like everybody else had. 2018, right? Um, But this was a really pivotal moment in my life because it was adulting at another level that I'd never been. And having someone serve as a mentor, as a guide, as support, as a friend, as family to help me learn life in this place and space. And it was just an amazing experience to see this in real time. And I poured into her, she poured into me. We ended up going to the gym, working out together. And it was just like, man, this is what a healthy colleague working relationship can look like. And I had it. And it was great until I left. Because we were together when the pandemic happened, of like, we went out to go get, because this is what we do, after a long week, we'll go out and get sushi, go get drinks, because she drank. Come on now, little bourbon, little scotch. I have me a drinking partner. So Thursday nights after class, we'll go meet up. So this particular Thursday, we went up meet up for sushi at this place, and we get an email talking about COVID and campus is closing. And we made a bet, like, man, we just to blow over the couple days. That's what I'm saying, man. We be good, but a couple days, let's take a vacation. You know what I'm saying? Like, we could chill, no biggie. And she's like, nah, Jay, I don't know, bro. This may be a real thing. And I'm like, I'm skeptical. Whatever. This ain't nothing. And she's like, I don't know. And then we bet on it. She said, all right, if it's COVID thing, if this thing is low key, whatever, next time we go out, sushi on me. If it was over by Tuesday, sushi on me, we go back out. 4 years later, 4 years later, we was able to have sushi. I was able to buy her a drink because she was right. When we got that email, our lives changed forever. And 4 years later, I was able to I was able to pay her earnings from the bet that COVID was a real thing. And that's our experience. And I wanted to share that because I never shared that before, and is near and dear to my heart because it connects to so many different things. And next week, Sarah will be on the show to share her story, to share her truth. So you get an opportunity to meet a person that has helped me in so many different ways professionally that I'm excited to share with you all. So this is my truth. This is my story. You can do whatever you want to do with it. I'm just here to share me because if you notice through the stories that I told today relates to the three parallels: who we were, who we are, who we're becoming. So if this episode has done anything for you, pay it forward. Give it away. Share it. The stories. Connect with the people that I talked about. I'm doing this intentionally because I want people to receive their flowers. So, say for instance, you are a random listener and you know one of these people, and you tell that person, like, yo, Dr. Brand said blah, blah, blah. That's a cool thing. Because anybody who says something about me, especially in a positive way, I want to hear it. Thank you. Why not? So, this is what I wanted to share. This is where I'm at. Amazing experience. Full circle moment. So, as I mentioned before, Sarah and I, we're in this place and space, dating, figuring it out, having great dates, having bad dates, having some horrible experiences, like being in the same space. Like I stayed in an apartment building in front of her. I can walk out my back door, she can walk out her front door, and we meet at the sidewalk. Like that's how close we were. And full circle moment, surviving COVID, we were still connected and dating and connecting, and we end up finding our person around the same time. I'll end up meeting Mia. Uh, she ended up meeting Jake. We had the chance to meet each other, and it kind of started at the same time. And we both evolved, got married, had 2 kids, and we still cool to this day. And to me, like that is friendship. That's connection. That's a destination helper. And all of us have them if we're paying attention to what's hidden in plain sight. And I share this so you can see how connected we truly are as people. That is it. That is all. This has been another episode of the Three Parallels Podcast with your host, the brother Dr. Jason Branch, where we rediscover who we were, embrace who we are, make room for who we're trying to become. If that is you, you are in the right place at the right time. I got everything brewing. If you want some, Come get some. Peace.